Hey traders, welcome back to the FXE YouTube channel. So once again, my analysis is playing out exactly as I forecasted. It's just too bad you didn't give us a clean entry. But the big question now, will we see continuation or a reversal now? Today, I'll do a quick update and see if we can determine where EU is more likely to go. Let me start with a really quick update on the fundamentals. So yesterday, we had some CPI data for Germany. It didn't impact price action at all. The results were negative and EU still continued higher. Today we have more inflation data for the Euro region as a whole, and that'll happen later in the London session. And we also have employment cost index and CB customer confidence during New York sessions. To be honest, I don't know the impact on those two events. We'll just have to wait and see how price moves when those events happen. And going to the charts, I'm going to have a quick look at the yields first. So 5-year, since driving down, we had a slight pullback, and it looks like today it's starting to come down now. 10-year, same thing, had a pullback, starting to come back now. But the previous low hasn't been taking like it has on the 5-year. And 30-year is going up for a bigger pullback and looks like it's starting to come down now. 10 and 30-year looks more like consolidation, but 5-year looks like it's trying to push down. And like I said, if the yields start to come down, then the dollar will most likely follow. And moving on to DXY, you can see we had a really nice push to the downside yesterday. The sell side liquidity was swept. We actually swept multiple levels of sell side liquidity. The first one being here, second one being here, third one being here. We came into the 4-hour fair value gap. Thereafter that, we started to have a reaction. So today, or late last night, DXY started to push up, and then we had continuation during the Asia session. So right now, price is currently in the 4-hour fair value gap that was created on the push down, and you can also see that we're also in premium right now. So the way I look at it is, if it wants to reverse and continue lower, the current area is, I think, the most likely area where we may see a reversal. But keep in mind, it can still go up a little higher, like for example into the order block, and then reverse and come down if it wants to continue bearish. For me, my preference is still lower pricing. I would like to see DXY come down lower. Now on to EU. So what we can see is we had a lot of consolidation when the market opened during Asia session. When London came around, we swept the highs. Thereafter, price came down lower, sweeping the lows, and from there we came into the hourly order block. So actually close to consequent encroachment, very close to consequent encroachment. And thereafter that, we had a reaction. And the price reversed and pushed to the upside. Unfortunately, it wasn't as clean as my path that I had here, where we had a nice shift and continuation to the upside. It was really difficult to get into an entry during the London session. I actually didn't get into longs until the New York session, like somewhere way up here. It was probably around here that I got in, and then I took it up to the 4-hour fair value gap. So yes, so that brings me to the next point. We did have some choppy price action throughout New York session, but eventually price made it to the 4-hour fair value gap. And you can see after we tapped into the 4-hour fair value gap, we had a reaction and some messy consolidation, and then during Asia session today, price started to push to the downside. So for me, I'm still biased to the upside and want to see if EU can push higher into the upper unmitigated 4-hour fair value gap and potentially the order block, and potentially create higher highs. So what I'll be looking for today, we are in a 4-hour fair value gap. We have a nice 1-hour demand zone right here. So what would be really nice to see is if we do a little more consolidation in this area, and then London comes around, mitigates the lows, come into the or close to the demand. The main thing is we want to see a sweep of the liquidity and then potentially come into the 1-hour demand, and then from here see if we can get a shift to take the price higher. So that's my preferred scenario. Price could come lower into this area as well. Could use this as liquidity and have a really deep push down and come into this order block as well. So this scenario is still a possibility because we may come right back down, take out the liquidity, and then push up. And let me remove this just to get rid of the noise. So yeah, this is what I'm looking at for today. But keep in mind, we are coming from the 4-hour bearish fair value gap above. We know that DXY is quite bullish, and fundamentally would make sense for the dollar to start pushing up. So there is potential that we may get a sell setup during London session. So price coming back, mitigating potentially fair value gap here, shifting and just coming to the downside. It could also come a little higher as well, by the way. It could come into the extreme and have a shift there and then come down from there. You can see we have some supply here, or we could consider all of this supply. And potentially even all of this supply. So yeah, if pre-London we start to get a push up, it comes into this area, we have a shift, then it's more likely that we'll get shorts for the day. But if we consolidate in this area, come down a little lower, come into London session, have a shift there, then yes, I'll be looking for longs. Anyways, that's how I'm looking at the market for today. I still prefer longs, but will be happy to take shorts if that is what is presented. As we have a news heavy week, I'll be sure to take at least half off at 2R, whichever direction I enter, and just hope that it runs to relevant liquidity levels where I'll take more off. Anyways, that's it for today's quick update. Hopefully you guys found some value in today's video, and if you did, a like and a subscribe would be appreciated. Good luck trading today, and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.
Black Swan.